Hi everyone, welcome to my class. My name is Victor. Thanks for tuning in. Did you know that you can't use the word very for all adjectives because there are some adjectives that cannot be intensified by the word very? In today's lesson, I'll teach you about these kinds of adjectives. Let's get started. First things first. In English, there are two different kinds of adjectives: gradable adjectives and ungradable adjectives. Gradable adjectives are those that can have different levels. That means these are the adjectives that you can make more intense or make less intense. You can make these words stronger or weaker. And normally we do that by using an adverb. Here's an example. Someone could be beautiful, but beautiful is general. If you want to make it stronger, you can use very beautiful, extremely beautiful. If you want to make it weaker, you can say rather beautiful, fairly beautiful. This is the reason we use very a lot, because we think every time we use the word very plus an adjective, it intensifies the level of that adjective. However, that's not possible for all kinds of adjectives. Why? Because we have ungradable adjectives. Now, these kinds of adjectives cannot be intensified by the word very. And that's because they already express the limit of a scale. If that happens, that means you're already expressing the maximum quality of something. So that means you cannot make it more or make it less. And there are three kinds of ungradable adjectives. We've got extreme adjectives. These are adjectives that have the word very included in the meaning. We also have what you call absolute adjectives. These are adjectives that are either 1 or 0, yes or no. There's no middle. And we also have classifying adjectives. These are adjectives that give you the classification of the noun or the category of a noun. That means you cannot make it more or less intense. Let me show you some more examples. Okay, imagine that this scale is a temperature scale. This area, hot, that area, cold. Now, because hot and cold are gradable adjectives, that means you can actually change their level. You can make them stronger or weaker. You can make them more intense or less intense. So, if you want to make this word more intense, you can always say very hot. Or you can say extremely hot. However, if you want to make it less intense, you can say fairly hot or rather hot. Let's look at cold now. Cold is another gradable adjective. That means you can change the intensity by adding an adverb. So if you want to make it stronger, you can say very cold. Stronger, extremely cold. If you want to make it weaker, fairly cold or rather cold, because they're gradable. Now, if you can see here, boiling and freezing are ungradable adjectives. And that's because they represent the tip or the end of the scales. It's already maximum and minimum. So that means you cannot change their level anymore. You cannot say very boiling. You cannot say very freezing, because freezing already means very cold. Boiling already means very hot. Does that make sense? So, here's the big question. How do you know if an adjective is gradable or ungradable? My advice, do not memorize a list of adjectives. Don't memorize a list of gradable adjectives and ungradable adjectives. It's not going to help you. In fact, a lot of native speakers don't even know about gradable and ungradable. So, how do they know how to use it? It's actually more about common sense and logic. Here's an example. Let's look at the word unique. Unique means one of a kind. Now, from that meaning, we know that you cannot make it stronger or weaker anymore because it's one of a kind. There's only one of it. You cannot make it more intense or less intense, there's only one. So when you say that something is unique, you know there's only one of it. So no one really says very unique or extremely unique, because the word unique already means one of a kind. Another example, if you look at the word dead, dead is absolute. It's either you're dead or you're alive, yes or no. So you cannot say very dead or fairly dead, because it doesn't make sense. So in reality, knowing an adjective is gradable or ungradable just depends on logic and common sense. It's more effective to look at the meaning of the adjective and determine, can you change the intensity of that adjective? If your answer is yes, then it's gradable. If your answer is no, it's ungradable. It's that simple. However, just because you cannot intensify ungradable adjectives with the word very doesn't mean you cannot intensify them anymore. Actually, there's a way that you can. We know that there are three kinds of ungradable adjectives: extreme, absolute, and classifying. Now, if you want to intensify extreme and absolute ungradable adjectives, all you have to do is use the word absolutely or really. Here's an example. It's absolutely freezing in here. It's the middle of summer. It's absolutely boiling. You can also use the word really. It's really freezing in here. It's really boiling in here. That plant is really dead. You haven't watered your plant in 2 months. It's absolutely dead. Your dress is absolutely perfect. You look absolutely gorgeous. These are all ungradable adjectives, but you're still intensifying them with the word absolutely. And quiz time. Here are 8 different adjectives, 4 of which are gradable and the other 4 ungradable. I'd like you to look at the meaning of each of these adjectives and decide, can you change their level? Can you make them more or less intense? If the answer is yes, it's gradable. If the answer is no, it's ungradable. So I'd like you to put each of these adjectives in the correct box. All right? Let's check. First word, amazing. Can you change the level of that word? Make it more or less intense? No. Amazing is ungradable. Think about it. Nobody actually says the very amazing Spider-Man, right? Next one, attractive. Can you change the level of that adjective? Yes, you can. Attractive is gradable. You can say very attractive, quite attractive, fairly attractive. Next word, enormous. Can you change the level of that word? Actually, enormous means very big already. So it's absolute, ungradable. You cannot say very enormous. Next word, extinct. Can you change the level of that? Can you make it more or less intense? Think about it. When something is extinct, that means it no longer exists, right? So it's actually ones or zeros. It's absolute. So extinct is ungradable. You can't say very extinct. Expensive. Is that gradable or ungradable? Think about it. You can change the level, right? Something can be very expensive. Something can be extremely expensive. Something can be rather expensive or fairly expensive. Expensive is gradable. Next word, interesting. Gradable, ungradable. You can change the level of that word. You can say something is very interesting. Something is a little interesting, right? So, gradable. Next one, plastic. Can you actually say that that chair is very plastic? Really plastic? Not really, because it's a classifying adjective. So, plastic, ungradable. Last word, rich. Can you change that level? Yes, you can. A person can be very rich. A person can be rather rich. A person can be fairly rich. Change the level. Rich, gradable. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something today. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll see you all next time.